Hey, futurist Jim Carroll from the virtual broadcast studio. It's Infrastructure Week. It's finally here. If you're watching the news today, you know that there's a big announcement about the investment of billions of dollars in potential infrastructure investments. And we know what's going to happen from this point in time. We know that, as this announcement comes out about the investments that need to be made to take, America, North America, the world into the 21st century, there's going to be a lot of posturing. There's going to be a lot of arguing. There's going to be a lot of politics unfolding. I mean, that comes naturally with the territory. But what I'm doing in my headlines is I'm going behind the news headlines to put in perspective the real trends which are unfolding here and what it means and what we can expect. And look, this is an investment in the future. Think about what has happened in the past. When the intercontinental railroad system was put in the US, in Canada, and around the world, this really defined what happened to local, regional, and global economies. It defined the pathway for economic success. In the US, when the investment was made in the Eisenhower Interstate system, towns, cities withered or died depending upon whether they were on the main highway. What has long been recognized is that infrastructure investment is critically important in moving regions forward into the future. And look, it's the 21st century. A lot of what is out there is crumbling, falling apart. It does not contain what is necessary to take an economy into our world of massive smart connectivity, massive smart technology, a world in which everything is changing and all the assumptions that we've had about the infrastructure around us really are tossed out the window. This is the type of thing that I spend a lot of time on stage around the world speaking about. I spoke in Muscat, Oman, just a year and a half ago about the future of infrastructure, smart highways, smart technology, smart energy systems, and I'll share that clip with you at the end of this because what organizations have realized, there's a huge opportunity to redefine our economic opportunity based upon what we were doing with infrastructure. Now, you need to understand the story behind the headlines. Number one, we know oil is over. We know that the carbon industry is over. It's a sunset industry. We are witnessing the end of the era of oil. We are witnessing the end of the concept of gasoline cars. We know that batteries, electric vehicles that are based on electric vehicle technology, we know that's the future. Every single car manufacturer, with the exception of a few who are in denial, recognize that this is the pathway going forward. We know that these vehicles are becoming intelligent. They will talk to roads. They will talk to embedded sensors. They will talk to an integrated grid as they navigate their way through. This is a fundamental shift in terms of what is going on with transportation. We know that the world of energy generation is changing on a fundamental perspective. We are moving from a world of natural gas and coal to a world of renewables. Look, what is happening with renewables is a continued cost collapse in the production of energy via renewable sources. This is an inviolable, undeniable trend which is accelerating to a huge degree, and it's all part of this trend in which we are witnessing the end of the era of oil. What this is leading to is a world of very significant shift in terms of what infrastructure is. And you combine all these trends together and something significant happens. We don't have the infrastructure in place to recognize that we are seeing the massive shift to electric vehicles going forward with everything we do. This is fundamentally something that we need to accomplish to bring together the trends which are already at play out there. We know that there are challenges and opportunities along the way. For example, your electric vehicle will soon become a part of the energy grid. Your car is essentially going to become a big battery on wheels, and you will be plugging your vehicle into the energy grid to feed electric energy from your solar and backyard renewable into the battery to feed it into the grid, where every single vehicle, every single component of what we do becomes a part of this overall integrated electric grid. This is part of what is happening with this drive to accelerate infrastructure into the 21st century. A lot of this stuff is not in place. And so what is happening is we're beginning to think big and bold about the investments that need to be made to provide ourselves for this dramatic new future of massive opportunities. And look, we're not up to the task. The grid that we have is essentially unintelligent, one way, and not interactive. It is not architected for the realities of where we are going in the 21st century. And that's a big part of what is occurring with this infrastructure discussion. This is not just about putting up roads and buildings and bridges and upgrading highways. This is about building and putting in place the infrastructure for the smart 21st century, which is already unfolding around us today. But it's not just that. Part of what is occurring here, and one of the most significant trends that is underway, is every single industry is becoming a software-driven industry. Silicon Valley is coming to define the speed of innovation in every single industry. Your car, in essence, is becoming a computer. And as it becomes a computer, it is driven by connectivity. It is driven by hyperconnectivity. Connectivity is the new horsepower. And as it becomes a part of this overall integrated, interconnected system of systems, of connected things, is what infrastructure in the 21st century is all about. And that's what you need to think about as you get behind the headlines, the political arguments, the raging political debates, which are sure to unfold. This is all part of a trend where we are building a new economy on leading edge technologies, concepts, and the acceleration of new trends. And this is the type of thing that I was covering on stage in Muscat, Oman, and elsewhere at these big global infrastructure events before the global economy melted down with the pandemic. So you need to put in context the reality of what is occurring, the opportunities that are unfolding, and think about what role can you play as this continues to unfold, because this is a global race. Nations which invest in infrastructure will have an opportunity going forward. Those who do not invest will face a slow and inevitable decline, because they will be based upon 20th century technology in a world in which the future belongs to those who are fast, those who think bold, those who think big, start small, and scale fast. So I want you to think about what you are going to do to take yourself behind the headlines into this world of hyperconnectivity, the opportunities that are unfolding, and to challenge you with that. I'm going to close out with this clip from where I was on stage in Muscat, Oman, at a global infrastructure conference, challenging the audience to think big and bold about their future. Futurist Jim Carroll from the virtual broadcast studio. Thank you for watching.
Let's give a really warm welcome. I'm glad the room is full again to one of the leading futurologists in the world, Jim Carroll. Jim?
You know, we are in a world in which change is coming at us from so many different directions. Disruption is occurring, that every single organization worldwide is trying to figure out, what do we do to align ourselves to these trends? And that's why organizations around the world are focused on a world of relentless, incessant change. My job here this morning, for all of you from around the world, is to put in perspective the fast-paced trends, where so many trends are all of a sudden coming together all at once. Virtual reality, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, self-driving cars, big data and analytics, the Internet of Things. Any one of these trends can take on sudden velocity and have a profound impact on our world. We are in a situation in which every single industry is becoming a software industry. Technology defines our future. And what happens in this world, as companies become technology companies, the speed of Moore's Law defines their future. My global client list consists of organizations who are struggling with the issue of speed. In a world in which the future belongs to those who are fast. The future is going to happen whether you like it or not. These trends are going to unfold. Business models are going to be disrupted. Change is going to happen. Skills are going to accelerate. Things are going to speed up. And you have a simple choice in front of you. Some people see the future and see a threat. Innovators see the same future and see an opportunity. I plead with you to change your future before the future changes you. And how do you do that? One simple piece of advice. You think big, you start small, and you scale fast. Thank you very much.
Excellent.